for Ustad today, mashallah, today?
Waalaikum salam. My name's Abdullah, and I want to ask if the reward of reciting Holy Qur'an from physical book applicable to screens.
Did you get that, Ustad? No, could you repeat the question, please, my brother Abdullah?
Okay.
Yeah,
I want to ask if the reward of reciting from the Holy Qur'an is it applicable to screens.
Oh, so like reciting it off the mobile, etc.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a very interesting question. Jazakallah khairan. Is that your only question?
Yeah.
We'll ask that to Ustad inshallah right now. So, Ustad, the brother Abdullah, may Allah bless him, he called in and he asked the question that, you see how we get reward for every single letter that we recite of the Qur'an, as we know from the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, would that same hadith apply if we're not holding the Mushaaf and we're holding, let's say, an iPad like this one, or we're holding our phone and reading the Qur'an off that?
No. Obviously, the Qur'an, there's a difference between the Qur'an and the Mushaaf. Okay. So this is a Mushaaf right now. So it's a book that, it's a print of the Qur'an. And then on your phone now we have digital apps and we have Qur'ans on the tablets and the phones and so on. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. When he talks about the Qur'an, he describes it as a kitab, as a book. So it is preferred, and sometimes we take the Mushaaf, the Qur'an, more seriously when it's in a form of a book. And sometimes it's important to separate the environment for its purpose.
Right.
So when I go to university and I see the students and the lecturers and the books, I'm in study mode right now. When I'm at home, I'm in rest mode. When I'm at work, I'm at work mode. Because the environment, that's the purpose of it. And similarly, when most of the time we use our phones for calls or messages and WhatsApp and so on, and it's a wasila, it's a tool for other things as well, such as the apps and the Qur'an. There's benefits in that. So in terms of the actual reward, it will be the same thing. You will get the same reward from the phone or the Mushaaf. However, each person is different. If reading from a Mushaaf, you can focus and concentrate more, and you might get more, khushu', see more importance, less distraction, then perhaps you should, read from the Mushaaf.
That's how I am.
I often find that as well. I was just about to say that. I often find that if I'm reading Qur'an, I need to have the Mushaaf in front of me, and I'm reading my Qur'an, I find my concentration but scrolling my phone, I struggle with that. But of course, sometimes it's convenient, especially when you go to the masjid. You see on Fridays, you see a lot of brothers on their phones reading Surah Kahf, and which obviously makes sense. Perhaps they've come from work, etc. They haven't got their Mushaaf with them. But personally, like you just said, I think concentration-wise, when I have the book in my hand.
You know what? I have this weird. I don't know if this is weird, but like I see, mashallah, different people around me that carry Mushaafs, just like mashallah Ustad Umar just pulled his Mushaaf out. And one of the things that I like to see is like a Mushaaf that's like kind of worn out, that shows like it's been being read, it's been being used.
That is weird, Musa.
No, but honestly, I see that.
You notice throughout this series that Musa is very weird. Musa is very weird.
And I'll tell you why. I actually noticed that. And then, when I look at mine, I'm like, man, it's not worn out enough. So I need to read it more to get it. So I carry it with me. Like, I mean, this is something about me. When I leave my house, I'll leave with my phone, my wallet, and my Mushaaf. Because before, I used to sell myself that dream, which is, don't worry, you don't need to bring it with you. You're going to read it on your phone. But then I realized, when I don't have it on me, it's easier for me to get distracted. I'll go on other apps and,
do you know how pertinent,
you get a notification and you're just like...
Do you know how pertinent this conversation is, subhanAllah, right now? And I did not know that we were going to discuss this, but did you see me today come in with a bag that you've probably never seen me come in with? You didn't look at me that closely. I had a bag on me today, and specifically I went out to buy a bag.
The pouch?
Yeah.
I did notice that.
I went out to buy it because when I carry my Mushaaf, I don't like having it in my hand all the time, and then I have to carry a massive backpack. So I bought a small side bag, and one that perfectly fitted my Mushaaf in it, and that's exactly what we're talking about today. SubhanAllah. Amazing, Najib.
Yeah, subhanAllah. It does, like both brothers mentioned, it might encourage you more if you have the Mushaaf with you.
Yeah.
The only purpose of it is to read Qur'an. As for the phone, there's so many other things you can use it for. you might not take the same importance, you might get distracted, you see a message, you see a notification. It's good, you know, as a piece of advice as well, because we are in the social media world right now. There's so many distractions. When we go online, it takes so much of our time that we don't realize. You know, 10 minutes will go just like that, and we thought it was a minute or 30 seconds. Whereas that 10 minutes, you can actually read 5 pages, 4 pages of the Qur'an. More barakah, more hasanat. It's good to put your phone away sometimes and say, I'm not going to go on my phone until I finish my wird of the Qur'an, until I finish the 5 pages after each salah target. And I have from Fajr until Dhuhr to do that. And if we recited just 4 pages after each salah from the beginning of Ramadan, which will take less than 10 minutes, you know, between Fajr and Dhuhr, we've got so much time. From Dhuhr to Asr, another 4 pages. From Asr to Maghrib, another 4 pages. From Maghrib to Isha, another 4 pages. By the end of the month of Ramadan, you have completed the whole Qur'an. And just on this point, Musa mentioned that each time you recite a letter from the Qur'an, you get a hasanah. Allah records a good deed. And the Prophet ﷺ said, I don't say alif, lam, mim is a letter. Rather, alif is a letter, lam is a letter, mim is a letter. Subhanallah. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Allah will multiply the reward 10 to 700 times. So imagine, I don't know if any of you are mathematicians, but if there's 320,000 letters in the Qur'an,
you know what, let's try and do it now.
Multiply that by 10. How much hasanat are we going to get just by completing the Qur'an?
I'm definitely not that much of a mathematician, but I think Musa's about to do the calculations right now on his handy device. Have we got it, Musa? Or do you not know how to?
You don't need a calculator.
In the meantime,